Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and tonight, mystery plots, Las Vegas poker pots, and then Greg's dad showed up. All tonight on Whiskey Business. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. Welcome back to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey.
Slow clap.
Slow clap because
We're slow.
we're slow. We have been on the, what'd you call it, John? John Whitney, you said, what'd you say? I thought you said we fell down, and you said we fell off.
We fell off a little bit.
We fell off a little bit, but not on purpose.
No.
Just not because
we're busy.
we don't care about Whiskey Business. The podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. No, we've been busy. We've had full, productive lives. Chip, are you with us?
Oh, yeah. Hi. I'm right here. Thanks, man.
It looks like we just woke you up.
Oh, no, I'm all good.
Chip Cassell, John Whitney, Greg Hansberry.
He didn't shave, that's for sure.
A little bit later on in the podcast, a very special guest. There's some male bonding going on in the Hansberry house.
Okay.
It's just Greg and his dad, John.
Yeah.
Just the boys.
Yep. Yeah. My kids and wife are they left me for an extra week of vacation.
So we decided to bring your dad over. I'm very curious about that conversation as the night goes on, because
he was a little nervous.
He shouldn't be.
This morning he was kind of, you guys have other stuff to talk about, right? I was like,
no. Me and your dad have chatted before, but I want to go a little deeper and kind of find out, your origin story.
Okay.
like a superhero.
That's right.
I've told myself that I want to just try to not interrupt. You just sit here and listen for once.
like
he always told you. Yeah. Well, just because it will be interesting to hear from his perspective.
I want to know how many times he walked up to the bathroom and the sink had been on for like 20 minutes. Why do you do that?
Yeah. I want to know how many times they say, you think you're born in a barn? You think we're air conditioning the whole house? Et cetera, and every other bad dad cliche. But in honor of your father.
This is nice.
In honor of your father.
Oh, yeah.
I broke out one of the special in the back bottles, the Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch. Not only small batch, but also bottled in bond.
Yummy.
Bottle, if you will.
Look at that thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I don't have to tell you anything about E.H. Taylor. Anybody that knows their bourbons knows that this is a damn fine bourbon. Hard to come by, expensive. This one retails now. Johnny, you said you thought you picked it up in Indiana for $125.
Maybe, about 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's retailing for about $135, $149 now a bottle. The good stuff, and like I said, I don't mind breaking out the good stuff. I don't like keeping it on the shelf, but I like to have a special reason. And tonight seemed like a special reason. Yeah. So before we share a sip with your father, and we got some other friends, Jason and John are back there just kind of hanging out. We'll share with them too. Let's have a little, hey, the band's back together.
Here.
As we discuss what the hell we've all been up to. John Whitney's been in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Chip and both Greg have been in Michigan. I've been in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. I mean, it's just, that's why there's been no Whiskey Business podcast.
You guys had more fun than I did. I was working. You guys were actually having fun. At least you had fun for a day, maybe a couple of days, right?
I had fun for lots of days, but you were in Tulsa, and Tulsa intrigued me because I love. I've been watching Tulsa King.
Oh, okay.
So
I love
Tulsa
that.
had some some TV appeal to me. So
what's it like?
Yeah,
it's kind of like Dayton, but hotter and a lot of homeless. And
oh man,
I saw a lot of homeless being taken off by ambulances and all kinds of stuff.
Because of the heat?
Because of the heat. They were all getting heat exhaustion. But I was actually shooting something for work, and we were in the library inside and just shooting stuff.
Nice and cool.
Nice and cool.
Did you experience any of the excitement of Tulsa?
I don't know where you're going because I don't know.
So,
not really. No. I went from the hotel room to the set to the restaurant to the hotel room. That was my life for 4 days.
You didn't go to do a King of Tulsa
Yeah,
tour.
Tulsa King. Yeah,
Nah, dude, I didn't
they
have
weren't
time.
playing that up. The fact that Stallone's been there and they've been
No.
shooting it.
There
Like, this is where they shoot
the bar.
This is
Nobody
where they
talked
shoot the
about it.
bar, and this is the horse ranch.
This is that
and
intersection
Yeah.
where you stand.
Nobody
and-
talked about it.
This is
Sorry.
where the dispensary is.
Right.
Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Smoke some pot. Apparently, pot. You can smoke pot in Oklahoma.
I did not, but I hear that. Yes.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're on a corporate shoot
Right,
for
yes,
work.
right,
Yeah, you just smoke some
right.
pot. Oh, you hear that? All right.
course not.
Recreational,
No.
But and also congratulations. Can we say? Are we allowed to say that you got a bump up in the world?
Yeah, I got a full-time gig with the company that I will not
Congratulations! That's
Yes,
awesome.
here,
Here.
talk about. I was a contractor, and now I am.
Now you're part of the
I'm
you're
corporate.
part of the corporate
You
world.
sold out.
I am.
You're
Yeah.
part of the same society that people bitch about on a regular basis.
I didn't sell out. I've been working hard for that
No, you
company
did
for
not
8
sell
years.
out. You did not sell out. You
And I got a pension now.
wow. And I'll be honest with you,
can borrow
that's
some of that.
something you swore to God you didn't think you'd ever get.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, but
It's
You
good
know.
because you're getting up in the years.
I get up
Yeah.
in years, man.
It's
I
good-
got,
it's good to
I
have a
got
little
maybe like
security.
9 years left in me.
And what? To work before you what? Retire?
Yeah,
Get out of here. How old will you be in 8 or 9 years?
I'll be 67. I'm gonna go for 67, so that's 9 years. Or actually, I'm gonna turn. Yeah, I'll be.
And what are you gonna
67.
do with yourself?
Dude, I don't know. Probably watch movies and do dumb shit. All the
You
time.
do. You
Make
watch
short
movies
movies.
now. You watch
Yeah.
movies now and do
Yeah,
dumb
yeah, how's
shit.
that any
How's
different?
that any different?
I don't know. We'll probably just kick around. We'll see.
Yeah.
I have no major plans for retirement. We'll see. I could still work on the
knows?
side.
You got to work on the side. You
He's
gotta
going to get
do
into
something.
cooking.
No, I'm
smoking
saying
is
I think
meat.
That's right.
Take it from someone who sat on the bench for
Right.
3 years. It's maddening.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'll open a food truck.
Do you have any culinary experience whatsoever?
I do actually. Yes, actually.
You can really.
Yeah.
He
I
made-
worked in
he
restaurants
cooked us
for
barbecue
since
the
I was
one
18
time.
to about 22.
You did.
Yeah,
you
you were a
did.
sous chef,
You did
weren't
a-
you, John?
You did a brisket.
I've done ribs and
Yeah.
and pork butt and all kinds of stuff. But yeah.
Pork butt,
So I worked in the restaurant industry for about 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Huh.
pork ass.
Did not know that about you.
Yeah, I worked in a steak place. I was the steak guy for a long time.
Did
Remember
you-
the Cork and Cleavers?
Yeah, I remember the Cork and Cleavers.
I worked the one in Dayton. I worked the one over off of Henderson, Old Henderson.
So they come over like you would have this
think
steak.
you know a guy, and you find out he was a steak guy at Cork and Cleaver.
Yeah, I was good at it.
I bet you were. You're good at everything you do. Why would you be not good at that?
I don't know. I like steak too, so I know how to cook it.
All right.
And you cook it how?
I like mine medium rare.
Medium rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Agree.
I don't.
What do you like yours?
Just medium.
Just medium.
Okay.
Medium. Yeah.
I like a
So
little bit
no
of blood.
pink?
No, there could be a little bit of pink in there. Yeah. Yeah.
Say a medium amount of pink.
It's a medium, and then I like my burgers. I like my burgers well done.
Oh yeah,
For
burgers.
sure. Yeah.
Medium well.
Yeah,
so,
agree.
yeah, at the very least.
Because it's
All right,
gross.
so-
That's why.
All right, maybe I had
They're burgers.
too high of an expectation for Tulsa because I got excited about Tulsa
I know,
King.
I'm sorry.
I thought maybe they'd be shooting the second season
right.
while you
Stallone
were
would
there
be
and
there.
something was going
I
on.
saw no evidence of production anywhere in that town.
Huh.
Stallone and
Darn
his,
it.
his
Yeah,
like
Stallone.
he has all those hot daughters. They have a TV show now, reality show.
Oh
Reality show.
no, that's what we need.
Yeah, another reality show.
But
Well,
maybe,
what is
maybe
this?
they
This is
were
a reality show.
at the
This-
library with John.
Well, how's a podcast any different than a reality show? No, it's a reality show.
Yeah.
Put your shirt back on,
it's-
John.
It's separate.
Nah.
At separate times. You both in Michigan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I went. Where'd you go?
Well, my wife's family has a little cottage at a place called Burt Lake. It's
Is that near the UP or is it?
It's
up
about 20 miles south of Mackinac Bridge, so it's like pretty far up there. It's about as far north as you can go without going to Mackinac.
We're up there by the dunes.
You're on like the west coast there.
Yeah. And we're at a place called Interlaken at Green Lake.
It sounds like a Star Wars movie.
I know, right? But it was 20 minutes from Traverse City and 20 minutes from the dunes.
Yeah.
So,
I saw the house. You showed us a picture of the house.
yeah, you could walk right out the
It
back,
looked
and there was the
beautiful.
lake.
Yeah.
You know,
It also looked like a place where a horrible murder would take place. at some
exactly.
point.
You
Yeah,
said that.
yeah,
I
did.
never got a chance to look that up.
Yeah,
That murder
yeah.
case.
Well, I didn't
Google
know.
the Johnsons.
I actually pulled that file for you from upstairs.
Oh.
My stuff, my old notes. so I could get the name right, because the name I misspelled the name for you.
Okay.
So I have the correct spelling.
That's just really interesting.
of the
That's
name.
So crazy.
What is it? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little background. What do you-
A little background then, but I'll stop because it bleeds into what I want to talk about later as well. Before we bring on John Hansberry,
Yes.
Pops to the podcast. I mentioned that the house he looked at looked like one of those true crime houses where everything's so sweet and quaint, where it looks like a horrible murder would have taken place.
But behind
these walls, behind this door,
Yeah,
darkness
yeah.
lurks.
tragedy would prevail.
Like Dateline episode.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. And then we
Chip
started
was thought that he
talking
was
back and
safe.
forth about an old case that I worked where it was like that kind of house.
Yeah, which is
behind
crazy.
behind this house of these respected physicians, tragedy took place in the basement. And I started to tell you about it, and then I gave you not the wrong name, but just the misspelling of the name. So we'll come back to that.
We'll circle back on that.
later. But you had a good vacation. You
It
were
was
up there for
really
like
interesting.
a month.
We had some bad weather, but it was added to the whole thing. You don't want to. It wasn't boring, bright and sunny every single day. But Elvis Costello was playing a concert there on the lake.
That's cool.
Right, like literally adjacent. We heard the music coming across. And had I been better prepared and hadn't drank so much, I would have hopped in the kayak and paddled out and went right up. I could go right up to behind the stage.
That's
how
heard him there. Oh,
and
wow.
heard him. But I didn't get to do that because
Yeah,
I was too
good
drunk.
thing you didn't do it.
Yeah, I know, I was too
Tragedy
drunk.
struck.
And it was dark. Yeah,
Tragedy
exactly.
On his
Yeah,
way
we're
to
like,
the
oh,
Elvis
wait.
Costello concert, but did he
Yeah.
drown or was he murdered?
There's a speck of blood in the kayak.
That would have been awesome. Yeah, but
Elvis
That's-
Costello is a suspect.
How could Elvis Costello have
Yeah.
been performing Veronica at the same time that Chip Cassell was murdered?
No, luckily that didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, but it was, it was really cool. And because the way the lake is, I mean, the music just rolled across the water, and you could totally.
So you could hear it.
Oh yeah, we could hear it. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, obviously, but
It's like
we
having
could.
an Elvis Costello album on really low. Just in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah, exactly. And we were like, drinking and just having a good time with a fire, and we had a bonfire. and
Family,
stuff.
like all your daughters.
Yeah, it
and
was
everybody?
my family and my wife's sister's family. All the cousins and
So
everything.
I'm always curious about that. When you're with your family 24/7 here in Columbus, Ohio, is it different when you take your family and are spending 24/7 with them in Michigan? Does the dynamic change? I'm serious. Or is it just same thing, just in a different place in a different environment? And does it get better? Does it go up a notch? And then when you come back home, is it the same shit all over again? Like, man, I wish we were in Michigan. I asked you a lot of questions all at one time, and I apologize.
Take your time.
No, it's better being with the family up in Michigan because then all the kids they go off and do their own thing, and
They distract each other.
yeah, everybody is and then each family takes turn making dinner for the entire group.
Okay.
So we were there for Saturday to Saturday, right? Something like that, I guess. I don't know. Let's just say Saturday to Saturday we were there. So Liz made dinner Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday because she makes the best dinners. Everybody
was gonna
capitulated
say,
to her. So we got ripped off.
So, I was gonna say somebody has to make a shitty dinner, and they don't want to be the person that makes the
exactly.
shitty dinner.
Yeah,
And
Liz, she makes feasts. It's not just dinner.
Yeah.
It's a
So
feast.
she set the bar too high.
Exactly, yeah.
So
I think
somebody else should have gone first.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Dino says
definitely.
you say that all the time. When you do something really shitty, and then nobody will ever ask you to do it again.
Oh, exactly. I did that early on in our
learned
marriage
that from-
about laundry.
I learned that from my father. He didn't teach me a lot, but the lessons that he did teach have been invaluable. If there's something you don't want to do a really bad job, and nobody will ever ask you to do it again.
That's right.
Oh, wise man.
Absolutely.
Wise man. But a good trip.
Yeah, it was. And everywhere I go, when we go on vacation, I always try to find a cafe that I can go to.
You got to go have your coffee.
Exactly. First thing in the morning, I wake up before everybody else does, and I go to that cafe, and I found this place called Max Breakfast and Coffee Place or something. It looked like something out of Twin Peaks. It was like a log cabin looking place that had coffee and also had like breakfast food and stuff like that all day long. But I didn't get any food. I just went there for the coffee.
Was coffee good?
Oh, it was really good.
Okay.
I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had oat milk, and because that's how I take my coffee now. I don't drink dairy because it upsets my tummy too
Why don't
much.
you just drink it
Black?
Yeah, like your life.
Like
Dark
my-
and bitter.
Like good women, yeah.
I like it with oat milk, real oaky and barrely. I don't know. I don't know. But it was great. It was fun.
There's nothing better than a damn good cup of coffee.
Yeah. It was great. And what I like to do is I'd sit this place had booths. I'd sit at a booth, and the booth next to me had the same group of old guys that were locals. I could hear them telling stories and waxing and stuff. And
it's the best.
Oh my God, it's great. I even wrote down a few things they were saying because it was so interesting in my journal.
Cool.
So you absorb the local color.
Exactly. That's what I like to do every place I go.
You're a sponge.
Exactly. Yes, I'm a sponge.
You're a sponge.
Yeah. One of the days we went to the wineries. There was a whole group of wineries at one of the peninsulas, and we went to the furthest one you can get before falling off into the water. And then we worked our way down. We hit 7 of them, and oh my God, we're trashed, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, you're on vacation.
They have a spit bucket.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
That's what you're supposed to. You're supposed to just swish it around.
I'm not gonna waste it,
and then spit out the rest so you can enjoy.
Yeah,
he
it
also
was great.
brought back a bottle of whiskey, but I don't think I want any part of it.
No, yeah, it's the Grand Traverse Distillery. I didn't get to go there. My wife and sister-in-law
but
went there.
it's
Cherry flavored
Yeah,
whiskey.
no.
It says cherry flavored. Does that mean it's actually made from cherries, or it's
I
just
don't
flavored
know,
like
but
Probably
cherries?
in a barrel. Or
It's
something.
no.
I don't know.
No, when
I don't know
it
anything
actually-
about it. Liz
when
got
it
it.
actually says cherry flavored on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Now, if you were to say if that was just a Grand Traverse, because they make good whiskey.
Yeah.
Or no, that's what was it? Was it Grand Traverse? No,
Traverse
Traverse
City.
City.
Traverse City
Traverse-
is
no, look.
different.
Grand Traverse Distillery. That's a different.
that's something different.
That's
I
something
thought it was-
different.
Is it really?
I was
Traverse
the same as
City
you.
has
Traverse City.
like
Wait.
an apple and a
So wait,
cherry.
what is it then?
It's
and a
I
peach
don't
one.
know.
No.
I mean, I'll
They
try it.
They went to the distillery, and I didn't get to. I missed the distillery.
Yeah.
It was in this other little town.
when it's just market cherry flavored. That,
Yeah, because they're all about cherries up there.
yeah.
Osbeck and I have decided that you could probably make a decent old fashioned with it.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to be relegated to.
You guys already
Mixer.
took that step already, huh?
Yeah, we're thinking
Good,
that's
tasted it already.
good, yeah. Because now, if it was a whiskey that had a hint of cherry in it, that'd be interesting. But
Well,
when
I
it's-
tasted a hint of it.
yeah, I probably tasted a lot of it.
Yes.
So that might. Well, I don't even.
Yeah.
And that's very snobbish of me. I apologize. It's very snobbish of me. After
it's okay.
250 some bottles of
You're a
whiskey on
purist.
this show,
You're a purist.
that I've already poo-pooed it without even trying it. I may like it.
No, give it a taste a little later. But
give it a
don't
taste
let
a
it
little
ruin the Taylor for you, though.
No, I won't. And
Yeah.
Hansberry, Michigan.
Were we
for
close up there?
Were you guys neighbors? I don't think so.
No, I think we're about 90 minutes north east of you.
He couldn't even get on a kayak to go see Elvis Costello.
I
He
know,
didn't think
right?
he was going to get 90 miles down to see you,
No, I
and
know,
vice
right?
versa.
Through all the tributaries. Yeah, that was cool, but I'd rather talk about something else. I had a really a big coming of age moment for me, like
In Michigan?
No, before Michigan,
You talking about
the concert.
the concert? Yeah, he was one of the few, one of the rare.
So I scored some Taylor Swift tickets.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
I was going to bring it up.
And it, like I said, it was a really coming of age moment for. I really realized
wear a diaper?
I'm an old. I didn't wear a diaper. I'm an old man. I'm like, I joke about, I'm old. I've got gray in my beard, but like,
Old man.
I had a
probably-
fanny
Wait till I
pack.
sit down with your father. Then you'll see a couple old men.
I brought a fanny pack
No.
with granola
have
bar,
white New Balances?
snacks. No, but I had these sandals on, and they were. I was wearing my coolest outfit I could muster, and I was
From
just
1987.
a total nerd. All like.
And it just wasn't cool
It just,
enough. was it?
and I had I brought ponchos because it was supposed to be raining, so I was
Right.
like
You're
carrying around. I
prepared.
went
Okay.
and made a poncho stop. Like I was ultimate dad mode, and I'm just looking around, and I was probably the oldest one there by, well, at least in my row, by 15 years.
Yeah.
But you took your daughter.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's good.
So it was awesome. The concert was great,
And Mabel's how old now?
She's 8.
8.
So she's
Check this out. Check out Mabel's concert resume at 8 years of age. Taylor Swift, and before that,
her first concert was at Progressive Field, wherever the Indians play, to see Elton John.
see Elton John.
that ain't bad.
Yeah, she's got a good 1-2 punch.
Yeah. So
That's
I don't,
great.
you talk about setting the bar high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where you and your son got to see Dylan.
Son, you're gonna love it, I swear.
You took your son to see Bob Dylan.
What's he saying, Dad?
I can't understand a word he's singing. It's true.
I've seen that guy live. You can't understand what he's saying.
I think that was the last time my son, like went somewhere with me without complaining. He was like, "All right, cool," and then now he just says, "No, dude, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll stay here."
Yeah. Another concert with you, Dad?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, what's a Taylor Swift version for your son? What would really bring him out to this concert? Make him excited.
That's a great question.
Would he be interested in seeing Bruce Springsteen when he comes to town in September?
Harry Styles or
Yeah, that's a great question, Bruce. Yeah, maybe. He I don't know, because Mabel didn't really know who Elton John was. She just was my date, and but she left. No one, we were like super into him. So yeah, Bruce Springsteen would be great.
I guess what
Paul
I'm asking
McCartney.
is,
I mean, any of the huge ones that I would like to go to.
it seems, and I'm not saying you're playing favorites, but it seems like as far as your musical influences, you're trying to pass those influences along to your son. So I'm sure he's heard you play Bob Dylan records in the house,
right?
So he had some sort of idea as to what he was getting into.
Exactly.
So
yeah, he did.
If someone along those lines were to show up again, would you try to?
I'd take him. The
continue?
Eagles would be fun.
Yeah.
Any of those big, huge, fun,
Right,
big
right.
concerts would be cool.
Right.
But my daughter is spoiled. It's rotten, so I'm trying to.
As well, she should be.
Yeah, she is.
If she was my daughter, I'd spoil her. She's a doll baby. She's great.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that my kid Davis would like. My son. I don't know. I'll just keep
Maybe it'll be sports. Maybe it'll be sports.
Guar. Yeah, we talked about maybe going to a Reds game.
Killing me tonight.
Man, I want to go to Guar.
We're gonna come back with the masks and tattoos and everything.
Uh-huh.
I love Guar.
That's
But
funny.
anyway, so in
Maybe
summation,
sports.
I'm an old. I just feel really old and
And
not
you're all
cool.
of what, 39, right?
39, not
Next
40
year
yet,
you'll be
yeah.
40. Well, you got to do something
man.
big for 40. Anybody
Yeah.
else got milestones coming up? I'll be 65 next year. I think that's a milestone.
That's a milestone.
What are you going to be next year?
59.
59?
59.
59's cool. 59's a good birthday. Yeah. 59's a good birthday. Yeah, that's a year of reflection for sure. Yeah, you've made it.
Well, I got a head start because I've been reflecting all year.
I understand. I understand. I always find that the Niners, the 39s, the 49s,
That's right.
the 59s are probably the more difficult years than turning the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s.
I can
That
see
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
The Niners.
Yeah.
So do we look old to you then?
No, that's the thing. Is I still picture myself as like a cool high schooler with like a Letterman jacket.
Yeah, you're not.
I could do 10 pull-ups.
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
Well, you make me
you-
feel like a contemporary.
Thank you.
That's all I got to say.
That's why I like hanging out with you
I
guys.
was gonna say, do you think that by simply sometimes through osmosis, you think by hanging out with us that we're like
You're aging me?
that we're aging you quicker? That maybe you do need to start hanging out with people your own age.
Yeah, probably accurate.
Yeah. I'm not your average 64-year-old.
No, you're not.
So yeah,
That's too funny.
Johnny, how old are you?
I'll be 59 this year.
You'll be 59 this year as well.
Yeah.
So okay, so you guys both have that reflective birthday coming up.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
And Michigan was good. Family?
It was great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I saw you
great
went
weather.
fishing.
Went fishing.
Catch anything?
No.
What kind of fish?
My father-in-law and brother-in-law are smallmouth bass fishermen. That's
I
what
see.
they mainly go for.
Did they catch anything?
They caught a lot.
Did you eat it?
We did.
Oh, sweet.
Why did you catch anything?
Well,
You know what you're doing
yeah. My heart wasn't in it this time.
this time.
Yeah.
Was it in last time?
A lot of times when I go, I'll actually try. I kind of kept taking a nap. Like there's a good probably 2-hour window where I didn't have any bait on my hook, and I just was like,
You
just
said
kind of
you were
dozing
just
off.
you were faux fish. You were faux
I was
fishing.
faux fishing, just kind of nodding off. But I realized
Faux fishing.
I had a great time.
thing, or if it isn't, it should be.
It's about relaxing.
It's about.
Exactly. I got to doze off.
I mean, that's a great way to act like you're doing something
Right.
and you're not.
Yeah, I had a blast, and part of it because my mentality, I was thinking of you, who was in Vegas that you're going to talk about, but it's like fishing. It was like going to the casino. It was a good day at fishing because I didn't lose any fish.
Right.
Sure.
True.
So
Yeah, I lost fish. I lost.
Are we talking about your couple weeks there now?
It was a whirlwind
Yeah.
week. It started by going to Los Angeles on a Friday to tape, and this is something that we're going to do in a later podcast because John Whitney's been after me to do it forever. And the only reason I said I didn't want to do it is because I didn't feel I was well versed enough in it. But what I went to LA for was to tape a segment of a show called Real Murders of Los Angeles, which is the third in a series now. They have Real Murders of Atlanta, Real Murders of Orange County, and starting in October will be the premiere of Real Murders of Los Angeles. They dug up a case that is some 35 years old that started in Los Angeles. But the investigative part of it started here in Columbus, Ohio. And as I have mentioned on previous podcasts, back in the day when I was a younger man, even younger than you, Greg Hansberry.
Oh my gosh, that's young.
I was an investigator. And this particular case, which was an insurance fraud case, it was a murder case. It turned into a murder case. The insurance fraud was basically they faked the death of one of the owners of the company and killed somebody to replace him out in California. And that is the basis of the Just Sweats case, which we will go into more detail in a future podcast.
And Just Sweats, that's the name of the clothing
Just Sweats
store.
was the name of the company that the John Hawkins and Melvin Hansen had together.
It took me a while to figure out what you were talking about when you just said
Just Sweats. Yeah. Just Sweats was what it, when they were reporting about it in the papers, it was the Just Sweats. Yeah. It became known as the Just Sweats case.
Gotcha.
I remember it.
I remember the store on High Street there. I went to school.
So I went out to.
Did they have other stuff besides Sweats there?
No, just Sweats.
Just Sweats.
Okay.
Yeah, which he actually took the idea. Hawkins got the idea when he saw a company called Pure Sweats out in California, and he actually just talked to somebody from Pure Sweats and got all the information he could and
ripped
stole
it
the
off,
idea and took it and it became unintentionally successful. Because that wasn't the plan. The plan was to start this company and get some investors and go, because they'd pulled a lot of other type of scams similar to that in previous years. But it ended up being a huge success.
It's like The Producers, or isn't that the play?
Exactly.
It ended up being a huge
musical
success.
Yep.
But I went out there and taped about 3.5 hours worth of interviews for the Oxygen True Crime channel. It'll air in the fall. I don't know when our episode will air. And you'll see me trying to recall case that I worked 35 years ago, and I'm very curious as to how it'll all get pieced together, and very curious as to what the feedback might be after the fact. So then I was there from Friday, and I got on a plane Saturday, right after I got done shooting, flew back to Columbus, had Sunday to regroup, and then flew out to Las Vegas on Monday because I was in the World Series of Poker. There you go. Hence the title, Mystery Plots in Las Vegas Poker Pots. And yeah. It didn't last long.
Yeah, a full day and a half, right?
No, I did not last a full day and a half.
I thought you went to the second day. The first round, the second round.
No. See, I knew you guys would get it wrong.
Yeah,
I said I got through the second blind.
Oh,
okay. Don't know
The
what that
second
means.
blind.
Second game of the first
Yeah,
day.
each blind is 2 hours long. I got through the first one with no problem. Did great, actually. Got through the second one with no problem. Only it was down about 3,000 in chips. And then the third blind, I just got devastated.
So when you kept saying blind, I was like, I have no fucking idea what he's talking about. And
The blind, you're the big. There's the big blind, the small blind, and when you're the big blind, you also have to put in the ante. So if the big blind is 200, the ante is 200. So
is that the buy-in to the game? Basically?
no, the buy-in for the game is $10,000
Okay.
to get into the World Series
That's
of Poker,
for
which
the
I
tournament.
won. That was not my money. I won that at the Columbus Italian Club tournament that we have every year. I was the lucky recipient of that cash.
You earned it.
I earned it. Yes, I
won
put
it.
money into it to try to win it, and I did win it. And and that's a very surreal moment where you plop down 10,000 large and want
Cash, right?
Cash too, yeah. Because I debated how to do it. I was going to do a cashier's check, and then I found out, I read the fine print that checks need 5 days to clear, so you would have had to deposit it and sign up for that 5 days before you were supposed to play. And so that wouldn't have worked out. I could have put it on my debit card, but then they charge you an exorbitant fee for that, and I didn't want to do that. So yeah, I took 10 grand out in cash, kept it by my side every step of the way.
Talk about like plot, crime plot. You
Yeah.
have a suitcase with 10 grand.
Yeah,
and you get
10
out
grand's
there.
not enough, but
An envelope, a big
Gym
envelope.
bag. I picture a gym bag.
it wasn't a gym bag. It was where is it?
A
It's
dop
somewhere around
kit?
here.
That's
no,
satchel?
It was close. It was close to me the whole time. I didn't let go of that bag.
Was a fanny pack.
It had a fanny pack.
I got a fanny pack next time you can borrow.
And then Vegas itself was fun because I was out there with the guys. We ate at the Golden Steer Restaurant, the oldest steakhouse in Las Vegas, the old Rat Pack Steakhouse. Cool. That was cool. That was great. It was opened up in 1958, I believe, and it was just pure old school Rat Pack every step of the way. Nice. Great meal, great steak. Yeah.
How long did you stay out there after?
We got there on a Monday. I played on Tuesday, and we left on Thursday.
All right, so you had a day
morning.
and some change to.
Yeah, I had a day to lose more money.
Well,
now you guys aren't big gamblers per se. No. I mean, you would know.
But I'm willing to learn.
Well, yeah. Well, it could be expensive. I had big highs and then lots of lows, and and when it was all said and done, it was a low. I walked out with with nothing.
And it whittles down
Except
to one person, right?
Yeah, one person is the person who wins the World Series of Poker. By the time this podcast drops, it should be wrapped up, actually. Will win $12 million.
Wow. And it's a winner take all?
No. You start winning money. It used to be if you got into deep into day three, you could cash out and win $15,000, win $5,000 more than what you invested. And the deeper you go, the longer you stick around, the more the money goes up. So the top 10 people will, I think 10 will get at least number 10 will get at least $1 million. Wow. I don't know that for certain, but yeah. There's money to me, but it's a grind. Each session, each day is 12, 13-hour day. I mean, if you're in it, you're in it. And everybody said, were you nervous? And I said, no, I wasn't nervous. I was excited. I must have been excited because at one point, about 3 hands in, I spilled my coffee all over the poker table.
Oh, that was smooth.
Yeah. And I did. And if time could stop, that's when it stopped. And that's when I had like a Jerry Lewis moment. I spilled the coffee on the table with the chips and the bedding. And we get the napkins and I wipe it up and I got it on your shirt. I'm sorry. Let me wipe. I'm making it worse.
Lady!
That's funny.
It was not my proudest moment.
Oh, man.
And but my friend Jamie Sanfilippo, he was watching. He goes, well, he spilled his coffee, so he's there. He's good. He's good now. Yeah, we got that out of the way. Got that out of the way. Yeah, and I bet out a turn one time because one guy had his cards covered, really covered, and I thought he was out, and I bet, and he's looking at me like, oh, geez, I'm sorry. So yeah, I got those 2 little mistakes out of the way, and I played the best poker I could play. I folded a lot of hands. I did everything that I was supposed to do correctly. I just got shitty cards in the third blind, and you can't. Some guys can't play with shitty cards. I'm not good enough to play with shitty cards. I'll admit that. Next year, I'll be better if I go back next year. Yeah. So,
cool.
So there you go. So then, finally back home, and here we are, back to normal on the whiskey business, leading our normal everyday lives. We're back to where we're supposed to be, drinking some Colonel, some Taylor.
Very good.
Yes, nice little sippy sip.
Yes.
And Chip, I will ask you to politely, as you do, get up so we can bring in a guest and you can start taking some photos because he's had a chance to walk around my house and look at my books and make his opinions and his evaluations about a man that he knows, but he doesn't really know. He only knows me through you, Hansberry. And I've seen him on a handful of occasions. But a pleasure to welcome to the podcast, Mr. John Hansberry, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Father of Greg
har,
Hansberry.
Yo.
Now, this is interesting. He talks about being old, and I'm looking at you, and you favor your father. So how old are you, John, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 72.
72.
All right.
So, Hansberry, take a good look at that man. Take a good look. That's a good-looking 72.
That's what I look like in
That's
30 years.
If that's what you're going to look like at 72, I think you're doing all right for yourself.
All right.
Right?
I'll take it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for stopping by, John. It was a real pleasure.
That's all I wanted to hear. That's what I came for. So I do have one question.
Yeah, man.
How does $10,000 in a satchel go through TSA?
Yeah.
How'd that look on the scanner going through, huh?
They didn't say a word, surprisingly enough. Now, if it would have been more than $10,000, I think that's the tipping point. Anything more than 10. Now, did they see it? but they knew I was going to Vegas. And if they would have asked me, I would have said I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting because the investigative thing that I spoke of earlier, one of the things that flagged one of the co-conspirators, Melvin Hansen, was $14,000 in cash that he did not declare. Yeah, when he was coming back,
80s money right there.
when he was coming back through Mexico, through Dallas.
80s, yeah, that was 80s.
Pulled over for, a shaving kit. Much less $10,000 for them to stop.
That's interesting.
And do the swab and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I had the $10,000 in my bag, but they wouldn't let me take more than 3 ounces of hair gel. So
yeah, go figure.
the
right?
hair gel was a bigger concern than the $10,000 that was in my
And the mule we got
in
going
my
to
bag.
Vegas,
Yeah. So yeah, no issue with the $10,000.
Great,
I was
good.
surprised as well. I
Yeah.
thought they would at least be inquisitive about it.
Good.
Also, Jason and John Osbeck, get over here. We got 2 glasses over here of the Colonel. I want you to share in this.
It's really
this-
hot.
You think it's
It is
hot?
yes.
Yeah.
It's a little warm going down, but the after burn is good.
It's only 100 proof.
After glow.
It's hotter than 100, I think. I mean, taste it. Anyway,
I think
that
it's-
was
I
my
think
instinct.
That's just from global warming.
I think it's. You think it's global war?
And everything else gets blamed, for that. So
It it smells familiar like a Weller or something.
It's from Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
It's from Buffalo Trace. So yeah. Oh, I love Buffalo Trace. Well, this is where you can get it. If you go down to the distillery, you'll be able to pretty much get a bottle. Get a bottle.
call
of
it
this.
a good afterglow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
You drink bourbon on a regular basis?
I occasionally. I used to drink it more than I do now. I tell you, actually, I'm more of a Irish whiskey person. Just
Okay.
by training. Actually, 20 years ago, went to Ireland and hit the Jameson distillery and went through the brewery, and then they have the tasting room where you get a chance to taste everything, and that's where I learned that I liked the expensive Jameson.
Nice. Nothing wrong with Jameson's. That's one of my favorite Irish whiskeys. Though I've gotten to be, we've had quite a few of them on the show. We have to get him back too.
Martin?
Yeah. No. Martin. Yeah. For
Irish,
Bua.
Irish Larry?
Yeah. No, Irish Berry.
Barry, sorry.
Irish Berry.
And my problem is I learned to taste the expensive bottle of Irish whiskey.
right.
Yeah. Again, take the advice I gave your son. Go in low and then rise. If you go up high, then everything else is going to be, if you start. I started out with shit whiskey and learned how to better appreciate it. So I know a little bit about you, and it's interesting what you've done all your life and what he's been doing all his life. They don't match up. They don't match up at all.
Well, I think they do in a lot of ways. You were talking earlier about Greg exposing his kids to music. I'm an old garage band drummer from the 60s.
Are you really? See,
Yeah.
you never told me this.
Yeah.
You never
And-
told me this.
And
This is what I know about you. You're an accountant.
Oh, well, there's that too, but yeah, so no, I'm an old garage band
can't talk
drummer,
very
and so my record collection goes back way back, and raising him and his 2 sisters, we would have A to Z weekends at home, and we'd just start with the Allman Brothers, and we'd go down through ZZ Top, and we'd play. They heard it all.
Okay, so that's where you
I
get
get my appreciation for music and vinyl.
Yeah.
and-
Why would you not share this with me?
I
over
just-
all
I
this
don't
time?
know.
Why do I got to find out from an almost stranger?
Well, in fact, it was my middle daughter, who turned me on to country. I really wasn't a big country fan, but she said, "Dad, you got to listen to this guy called Garth Brooks." So,
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they turned me on to some stuff. And he, of all persons, Greg, turned me on to Neil Young, of all people. I've never been a big Neil Young fan until later he started listening to him, and I said, yeah, there is something there.
So how did Neil Young not make it when you were going A to Z?
I don't know.
Who was a Y?
Well,
Yankovic.
yes, it was yes. yes.
Yes.
Jesse Youngblood.
Yeah.
Some of those guys. Yeah. So that was kind of more my whys.
Okay.
If you want to know.
Oh, so you got turned on to Yes at an early age as well.
all that stuff. Yeah, Zeppelin,
Pink Floyd.
Floyd.
The early Pink Floyd, Umaguma albums.
Uh-huh.
Some of those things that they're better off listened to, after you've had a little of the nickel bag, kind of thing. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah,
bit.
right.
No, but and then having the sisters, I think I got exposed to a lot of the '80s pop, Michael Jackson, Madonna. I think I like those musicians more so than the normal person my generation.
And then too,
Yeah, because you're a big Mariah Carey fan.
I love Mariah Carey.
the yodeler.
Are you serious?
I call her the yodeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Who do you blame that on? The kids. That's not your influence.
No. And then too,
Moving
going to some of the early concerts I took him to was Jethro Tull. He's seen Jethro Tull a couple of times with me, so he's seen some of the classic guys. So yeah.
Every time it's like Styx, REO Speedwagon, and Journey would come through every state fair every year. I think we went to.
They all travel together, And one
5
time
out of
the
6
kids
of those.
bought me tickets to Styx, REO, and Journey one time, and the 4 of us went and played air guitar and sang every song as loud as we could. I mean, because you can do that on all their songs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. There's been a lot of music in our family. It's been a lot of fun.
That's very.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Shame on you.
I-
Shame on you. Shame on you. I'm glad your
yeah.
father's here so I can find this stuff
I
out.
just was keeping it
I
to let
understand.
him tell you.
Waiting for this very night.
What was the name of your garage band?
The Majestics.
The Majestics.
I even have framed my original drumhead cover.
Yeah.
One of the guys in the band kind of pinned a kind of a Beatle-esque kind of thing where the girls are screaming at the fence, being held back with the band in the background kind of thing, back in those crazy Beatle days. He's penciled that on a drumhead cover with the Majestics on there, and I've carried around with me, and it's a little bit more showing wear for his life, but I got it framed, and I showed it to him the other day. So those little
fun.
keepsakes are fun.
So what year is this when you were in the Majestic?
Didn't be the 65, 66,
So
67.
did you fall into the hair and the suit and the whole thing, or no?
Oh yeah, I had a little Nero jacket. Remember that? The little collar thing. My mom made it for me. It was a cool little Nero jacket,
Nice.
and I did all that.
How long was
stuff.
the band together?
Probably about 3 years. We were all Air Force brats. We lived in we were all new kids. Our dads were in the Air Force, so I was forced to move away, and they all kind of moved away, split up. But we were in Knob Noster, Missouri. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing about the Majestics.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt. I don't doubt it for a second. Now, did you have aspirations? I mean, as long as you guys were together. I mean, you got a garage band. You're there a year. Now you're 2 years. You're getting a good name locally. Did you have dreams and aspirations?
Well,
did you for making original music?
Really not. All I can remember is we'd go down, we'd run down the store and buy the 45, and we would play that thing over and over and getting the lyrics, and the guys would get the chords. You couldn't go on the internet and get lyrics and chords printed off. You had to figure it out yourself from the 45. So that was really we just really didn't do a lot of that. I didn't feel like we did that. We were
party band.
We were the house band of the officers club there. All the young officers
What was
danced.
the set list?
Huh?
What was the set list?
Oh, let's see. We would do Wild Thing, Good Lovin' by the Young Rascals.
Sure, yeah.
We even did Snoopy and the Red Baron just for fun. Remember that?
Just for fun. Yeah.
Air Force
Yeah.
Base, so you got to do that one.
Yeah, right. So it was
Did you do Louie Louie, or you just that growing up? That was the only piano song my dad knew on the piano was Louie Louie. So he taught all of us.
We did that, and then we did Time Is on My Side, the Stones. I love that song. And, so those kind of fun songs we did, just, so there was
Who was the lead singer?
Jeff Peake played 12-string guitar.
Yeah.
And he really sounded good, yeah.
Lead singer name too.
Yeah. So Jeff Peake, yeah. So it was a lot of fun. We played the Officers Club, then went nearby was a college town. We played a couple of frat parties, and our moms came along with us there because we were in 8th grade.
Oh my God!
You're not going to the frat house without mom coming along. So there we are with our mom.
My next question was, you guys party a lot? Like, no, you're in 8th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was.
You're
funny.
already up past your bedtime.
I know. Yeah. So that
All right,
was.
so after the band broke up, did you stay musically inclined?
Yeah, I played drums off and on over the years. I've been in a few different bands and a different kind of a country band, and actually for about the past 10 years I've been playing at church. So that's a trick there, going from a regular old 4/4 rock and roll beat to whatever the church song is, and somehow or another I made it work most of the time. So that was kind of fun. It's been kind of fun doing that.
Was it like a Gregorian chant?
Well, yeah. Well, and I was good with the rim shots when the priest would crack a joke. I'd kind of,
nice. Did you?
So
I
did
did
I
you
did
do
that.
that? Oh,
I did
that's
that
great.
a couple of times. Yeah.
That's great.
So
That's
I did it. I didn't do it as much as I wanted to. You can't do it every time, but at the right time you can do that. So he got a couple of rim shots from me.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that'll break up a mass for you, won't it?
All right, so I mean, music a huge part of your life, but obviously you did not choose that path to be a musician for your life. You chose a different path.
Yeah.
Now you said you were a Navy or Air Force brat.
Yeah.
So were you in the service?
No, didn't do any of that. No,
Didn't
went
do
away
it?
to school, like Greg said, became an accountant, and
Why an accountant?
I just because the high school bookkeeping teacher was cute.
Really?
So I took bookkeeping and found out I liked how the credits equaled the debits. And
So
that was my thing. I just realized in high school early on that
You were
was
good with
kind of
numbers.
I was good with numbers, and went on to be an
You
accountant.
do his
and
taxes?
then I do, and then I went and did accounting, and then specialized in taxes, corporate and personal tax later on. Yeah, so I've done.
Just this past April, he was like, "Greg, you're almost 40. You got to learn how to do this by yourself."
You gotta cut the cord at some point.
I'm not going to be here forever. He's going to go to the funeral home with his tax returns.
like-
Well,
saying,
you know what? I feel for him. Good for you. Good for you because I have an accountant, and each year I said, "You ready to retire?" He goes, "No, I'm gonna do another year." I'm like, thank God, because when he retires, I'm screwed.
That's all your secrets.
I'm screwed. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm gonna go. You establish a relationship.
Off
yeah,
grid.
it really is.
An
yeah.
accountant is a
Yeah.
very intimate relationship if you
Yeah.
have the same one for years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's like a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows you.
And I just kind of do personal taxes on the side. I do a handful of folks, but you're right. It's kind of more of, you kind of get to know them, and I'll call them up sometimes when we're doing a tax return and quiz Mallory on a couple of things. Did you know this was going on? So anyway, yeah. Mm-hmm. Talking about if I had other aspirations, I'm listening to a podcast called The History of Rock and Roll in 500 Songs. And this guy really gets into the weeds on a lot of, like, say, for instance, Happy Together by the Turtles, how that came to be recorded and all the backstory on it. And I think to myself, I could have been a drummer back in those days, playing on Happy Together or some of the, there's no way I'm a John Bonham or anything like that.
Some
But
session
I
guy.
could have been a good session guy back in the day if I'd have had the guts to, leave the bookkeeping world
Right.
and go find my niche,
But it's all about decisions.
Yeah, it
decisions
is.
to make at that time.
Yeah.
I think about that as well.
Yeah, sure we all do.
And
Right.
when you told me that what Grandma, your mom, said to you at one point was, become an accountant because you're going to have a job. Like they're always, they'll always need accountants in the world. So,
Yeah.
and I remember you telling me that before, just as my own career choices.
Go into radio. You'll
Yeah,
always
that's
have a
what I
job.
said. Go for a good career
Yeah,
path.
Yeah.
You could not have advised him to go on the radio and always have a job because there couldn't be anything less true.
People always
Well,
have a radio.
It's funny. I've always just told him, do something that makes you happy, and I do think he enjoys this path he's on. And, nobody ever accused anybody in a radio of getting rich, but I think everybody I know in radio business enjoys what they're doing.
I
It's fun.
have enjoyed working with your son. I bust his balls regularly. I do on a regular basis for years. And he knows that the day I quit busting his balls means I
heard you this morning on there a little bit busting his balls about the suitcases and are they meant for him to pack and leave the house?
Yeah.
Greg's response is, "Hey, I'm right here, you
Come on,
guys. I'm right here."
Well, he mentioned that Mallory bought new luggage on Prime Day on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Who's it for, huh?
Have you taken a look at it? See what it looks like? If it's all pink and somewhat bejeweled, it's not a family set.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah.
But what do I always say about you? What are you?
The son you never wanted.
Exactly.
There you go. Good.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
It's
great.
interesting because Stacy is our co-host, and in a weird way, they always say it is almost like this parental family unit because of the age and the mother and the father. And it's a fun dynamic.
It is.
It's one of a kind.
And age-wise, my daughter is only a year older than your son, so he technically, I could have had a son his age. It could have worked out that way. But
talk about having a son. I'll tell you a little bit about his beginnings.
I want to hear.
He, the most exciting part of his life, he didn't even know he was a brand new baby. He was born in Portales, New Mexico, about 7 miles from where the Clovis man was discovered, near Clovis, New Mexico. The Clovis man, the oldest man discovered in North America, 11,000 years old. Now that's been disputed recently, but still 11,000 years. And the kind of the motto is, hello Clovis man, goodbye woolly mammoth, because they were like the first big animal. They had a specialized Clovis spear tip. So he was born in that neighborhood. Then the best part is we lived in Clovis, New Mexico, right down the street from Norman Petty's recording studio, where Buddy Holly made his first records.
Whoa. Okay, so you had music.
See, born right in there, right there down the street.
Deeply ingrained.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Yeah. So
So, how long were you in New Mexico?
we were down there about 6 years.
Yeah, and I was only there for like a couple years.
Yeah,
like I was born
right.
down there, so.
Yeah, he was born on.
And then moved to.
Then we moved to Indianapolis. Yeah, came back here, and when you live in New Mexico, you don't get a lot of family come out there to visit you. It's just not that.
Lucky you.
Well, this is back in the '80s, and they're just nowadays you just get online and you get some airline tickets and you're there. Back in the '80s, it just wasn't a thing, So unless somebody would get in the car and drive 3 days to see you, so we came back to the Midwest. We had family in St. Louis and Kansas City, so Indianapolis was the closest place. So yeah, that's where we're at. So he ended up.
The rest is history.
Yeah, he ended up here. So, yeah.
How'd you meet your wife?
At college, she was an Air Force brat too.
Really?
So we both ended up being hooked up to go to there's an Air Force base nearby, and took her to the commissary, because she needed a ride. I went to buy my friends $3.50 a carton of cigarettes.
$3.50 a carton.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when cigarettes were a lot cheaper, but
I know.
Was it tax free or something?
Yeah, on base, cheaper and all that.
Yeah.
So I'd buy a couple of my roommates a couple of cartons of cigarettes, and they had trouble coming up with the $3.50 back then,
No matter what it was, a carton was
too
still
much.
expensive.
It was too much.
Right? Can you believe cigarettes? $3.50 a carton? Jesus, I remember when they were $2.
35 cents a pack.
Remember when cigarettes were $1 a carton?
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, you remember the cigarette machines? I'm not a smoker, but you put your 50 cents in there and you get a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we ended up hanging. So I give her rides to the commissary, and we ended up hanging out. And she said, "Hey, how about if I make 2 pork chops for us tonight?" So the rest is history after that.
Did she hear you play in the band? She
didn't hear the Majestics, but
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's her replacement, and she's put up with my drum kits and all that other stuff around. Yeah. And frankly, I got to admit, she wasn't much of a music person, but even now, she appreciates a good Mark Knopfler riff. She knows that. So she's learned. She's learned. Yeah, I have to say, I want to say I trained her well, but she's kept her ear open. So. And we've gone to a few concerts. Her biggest she loves the most is Santana. We've been to Santana a couple of times, and we were at one concert, and she's smelling the pot, and she says, "Am I getting a secondhand high?
Am I high?
Yeah, am I high?" I said, "Honey, I don't know. She never did any of that stuff. You got to tell me, So
it's
Who's
funny.
smoking the marijuana cigarette?
Yeah. So she likes Carlos and Mark Knopfler. So those are her two.
That's
that's
pretty
not
good company.
Not bad pedigree.
That's pretty good company.
Yeah.
And so you got Greg and 2 other daughters.
Yeah, Lauren and Jessica. Yeah.
Those are older sisters.
Yeah.
You're the baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they busted his balls. They we got pictures of him in little red pinafore dresses. They dressed him up and put lipstick on him, and
I look good.
I don't know how you tolerated it. You sat there. He I think he kind of enjoyed it in some perverted way.
Explains
I don't
a lot.
know. Kind of,
Explains
it does
a lot.
explain a lot, doesn't
Explains
it?
a lot. Thank you.
Most
it's all tracking now.
Most
tracking.
4-year-old boys would be pushing back, saying, "Leave me alone." But he sat there and let him.
I like the attention.
That was it. Yeah. So they really took care of him. They raised him as much as I did. In fact, we get accused. My wife got accused that we discipline them like crazy. Like when are you going to be? What time are you going to be home? We never asked him that.
No, he was the 3rd child.
That's right. We didn't care
whether it was a boy or a girl.
Yeah, we didn't care.
You're skating.
Yeah, the
By
3rd
number
one
3.
comes along, right?
Yeah.
And they still bust me about that. They go, "You never," So
Was he planned?
I think he was.
Boy, you just swimmed around.
I did kind of. Yeah. No, I was trying to.
I got the emergency
And-
break out.
Actually, I want to say what I was trying to get to. He was the only one of the three that we really worked at. If you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Good save.
There you go.
Good
Thank
save.
you. Okay.
Good save.
It was hard.
Yeah, it worked out.
That's not what Mom told me.
That's so funny. Now. What do your daughters do?
Jessica is a stay-at-home mom. She's married to a Foreign Service officer.
Nice.
She's been all over the world. We've been to Cape Town, South Africa to visit her, and that kind of stuff. Juarez, Dublin, a lot of places like that. So that's been fun. You know, if I created a bucket list 100 times, it would never have Cape Town on it, just because. But we go down there and see them. It's great. And Lauren, the middle one's a nurse. She's a OB, baby delivery nurse, so she loves that stuff. She loves the drama because there's a ton of it, you can imagine. So
All right, so you got him and you got two other daughters.
Yep.
What do they do?
The oldest is Jessica.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she,
Did you know this?
you know, she went to Xavier, and he had to get her permission to go to Dayton.
Yeah.
You know, so
Why she wanted him?
but Dayton,
school.
yeah, they're
rivals.
rivals. You know,
rivals,
they're kind of.
okay.
It's like you're an Ohio State person going to Michigan. You know, you got to get
Well, I
permission
thought
from
maybe
the
she
family.
wanted him to go to Xavier.
No, well,
She's probably good.
yeah. But anyway, so that was that.
Xavier's
So
for a bunch of stuck up Cincinnati folk.
We see that
You didn't have
team
the
up
grades,
north,
did you?
the school up
Oh,
north.
that's right. I'm sorry. I haven't assimilated to that yet. The school up north. Yeah, so she's married to a Foreign Service officer and has been really stationed all over the world, Dublin and Cape Town and Juarez for a while. So, in fact, her three boys, they lived in Juarez, went to a bilingual school, and the boys learned Spanish down there. They came out of young boys, still 4, 5, 7, and 8, you know, kind of ages, all speaking Spanish. Those boys.
So your wife was a service brat.
No,
You were a
yeah,
service
yeah,
brat, and your daughter travels as well.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
so
result.
they've
It stayed in the family somehow.
Somehow, yeah, it did. Yeah, so she's been stay at home, kind of. Well, you know, it's like being a military wife in a lot of ways. It's a full time job, just keeping the family together when your husband's out doing his thing. So yeah.
Just recently, she started or since COVID, she's doing it. She works with kids who are about to go overseas, like so, because they're stationed in Virginia right now, like home base.
He works in Foggy Bottom, which is the main headquarters.
So
of the
if
State Department.
you know, if there's a family that is going to Ireland or whatever, she works with the kids and the mom and trying to like get them like what to expect
for
how
the
to
first
get acclimated.
first timers,
right? Like so, she's just like a mom,
kind of a transition
a
coach,
team mom,
you know.
a
So
coach.
she works with she does. She works with the kids, so she's real good at kind of because the kids have a lot of anxiety, you know. She's good at talking them down and kind of getting them ready for it. So yeah. So anyway, so she does that, and our middle daughter Lauren is an OBGYN nurse, and she loves the drama of babies being delivered. Mm-hmm. You know, she gets in there, and you got the mom and the mother-in-law in there hollering at the mom, and the this and that, and my daughter, everybody out. She goes out in the hall, baby daddy, come with me. Boom. You know, so you got to be a traffic cop, and
I bet.
it's crazy. She's had all kinds of crazy stories. Anyway, she loves it. Loves delivering those babies. So
Get
yeah,
her on the podcast.
she'd be fine.
that would. Yeah, you'd have to censor that pretty good. But yeah.
We don't censor anything.
Yeah.
We don't censor
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, but you know the thing we always tell about our kids is we moved to Indianapolis, and even though they were born in other places, I think for the most part Indianapolis is where they grew up, and where they went to school on the east side of Indianapolis, all of their friends had cousins and second cousins and family just all lived around there, and when they grew up and got married, they all stayed there. And so our kids said to us, do you want us to stay here, you know, like our friends or whatever? Of course, being the liberal parents we were, you guys go do what you want, you know. And so they did. They went out and scattered around. And now we're kicking ourselves that we didn't say, no, darn it,
Right,
you come
yeah.
back here and you live with us so we can see the grandbabies and all that stuff, right?
Because now you guys are traveling.
Yeah, so now we're doing the traveling to them instead.
Which go ahead.
Yes, that's it. So yeah, that was kind of our
Which
little-
kind of brings me to my final segment of the evening. I know that it's just the boys at home. How often do you guys get an opportunity to be just the two of you? And how many days are you guys together?
just I think you leaving tomorrow.
Yeah,
Just for,
so
just-
this trip
over for a
just
couple of days.
actually we just able to get there one time this time. When I came down before a couple weeks ago, we were able to be together. We kind of make sure we get our time together.
What do you guys do?
I think we've been together since then, obviously, but we went to Ted Nugent together.
Yeah, went to see the Nuge when he was in town. Where's that venue? That was cool.
At Polaris
Motor City
Live,
Cafe.
whatever.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
not Polaris.
Kemba, whatever
You know,
it
he,
is now.
I tell you what, he was like probably my first concert back in '68. I think I paid $5 to see him in a high school gym.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, wow.
climbing up on those big amps and stuff, doing his crazy stuff. I'm a Nuge fan from way back. I've seen him a zillion times. You know, now, no telling what you got to pay. You know, the prices on all that's crazy. But anyway, so we went to see the
There.
Nuge. That was
he
fun.
took me to see the Stones. When you remember they did the big like they came
Zip
here.
Code tour was what
Right.
it was.
They played the Horseshoe here. They played the Motor Speedway.
I saw him at the Horseshoe.
Well, they were at the infield in the Motor Speedway in Indy, and our tickets weren't even to where you could see the stage. We were back in the party section with the big screen TVs,
Nice.
and it was still fun. I mean, you could kind of peek up and see the lights and something going on down there, but you couldn't see Mick or anybody, you know. But they were up there on the screen, and the sound was great. And
But you were there hearing it live.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a lot
You
of
were
fun.
there to experience it all.
Yeah.
So take concerts out of the mix. What do you guys do over the course of a day?
Well,
I mean, he goes to work
a
in the
couple of
morning.
years ago, we got together and built a tree house.
That's right.
Didn't we?
Yes, I've seen the
Yes.
tree house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
nice.
true.
And we had no idea what we were doing.
No, and it shows.
I believe it. You know, and I hope any building inspector come by and look at. I will say though, we put so many bolts in that thing that we made sure it would pass whatever.
No, it's not
inspection
going to
was.
fall down.
Yeah,
The kids
yeah.
are gonna fall out. Of it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the one huge opening. But I guess they got to get in it somehow,
Well,
right?
Usually, then we get together. We're in his house. We do some yard work together.
Yeah.
I do a lot of yard work.
He's a hands-on guy, so I think that's where I learned.
Did he get
appreciation
the
of stuff.
Halloween thing from you?
I have no idea where that came from.
Really?
At all. Do you know? I have no idea.
He's a Halloween freak.
I do know one time we did a haunted garage back when you were a kid, and
Yeah.
we had a blast doing that. And that's really about all we
Well,
ever did.
And I honestly, that's I think the start of it.
That might have been the seed.
You know,
yeah, Dino,
we
it's
build just
it's
these-
surprised me as much as anybody.
He's Halloween
His-
crazy.
his
He's
mom and
he's
I-
already started.
He's already
It's
getting
July.
his neighbors are already busting his chops.
Yeah.
They're
something
having-
out last night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hansberry and my wife get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny you say that because I think the Garage of Terror or whatever we called it,
Garage of
I think that was maybe a bigger impact than you think. 'Cause
Maybe it did, yeah.
You know,
See, that's those
Garage
little
of
things you
Terror.
never know, right?
You don't never know. You don't know the seeds that you plant. You
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So that's whether it's with your kid or anybody else you encounter, you never know, right?
You're
Yes.
extremely influential, whether you realize it or not.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, yeah.
And meals? What's dinner?
we went to Yogi's.
I'm just saying, as a guy's like, we're just gonna take out. We're not making anything. We're just ordering out. We're just.
But he had Olive Garden last night.
Yeah, I went to my guilty pleasure, the Olive Garden salad. You know, who doesn't like the Olive Garden salad, right?
That would be me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just
You and my
breadsticks.
wife, you two are together, yeah. But lately, he's been working out his chops on his new Blackstone grill.
Yeah.
He's been talking about the Blackstone grill.
Yeah,
a lot.
flatbed,
and-
the flats.
And I've been
I got one. I got one. Did
See,
you know
and I'm
that?
seeing all these little recipes on TikTok, you know, on how to
Right.
make
Yeah.
this or that, and I'm texting him to and how to make
Cinnamon rolls, all
and
the
stuff. and-
weirdest things you can make on there.
On the Blackstone, you can make cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, that's yeah. You smash them like a pancake. You get the little thing out and smash it down and do your thing. So it's So he's sorry he ever got it. Now I'm texting him stuff all the time. So yeah. But our big thing is Italian. My wife's half Italian. And so that's always kind of been something we've grown up with in the house is we've eaten a ton of Italian food. So he knows
Nothing wrong
he
with
knows
that.
how to cook Italian and eat Italian.
Do you?
Yeah,
You know how to cook Italian food?
He can make it. He knows. He's made.
Two things you
That's,
can learn.
that's two. Another thing.
He's-
You never
he's
mentioned
made-
anything about you never mentioned anything about being proficient at cooking
He's
Italian
made plenty
food.
of homemade ravioli and stuffed cabbage and
I think we probably had that conversation early because there was a minute there where I was courting you to get into the Italian club.
You could get into the Italian
I
club.
know.
I could make that happen.
You got a guy. I just need to join. I've just have been dragging my feet, and then like I use
So
the kids for an excuse.
he cooks well? Good.
He's a good cook.
That's the only thing I can
Because
make.
during they said I had COVID. I don't think I did, but the test that I did, and I made homemade. I was bored, and I made sauce from scratch, and I brought it in.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that
Yep.
my sauce was coming under a very, very scrutinizing eye and taste bud.
Microscope. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I remember it was good. It was really sweet, wasn't it?
It was a little sweet,
Yeah, you
but a
had
little sweet and spicy. Yeah, it had a little
I
sweet
like it.
going in, a little spice kick at the end.
Okay.
That was
It's
the
like a bourbon.
That was the banana peppers that I put into the sauce.
You
put sugar in yours.
peppers.
I put
Yeah,
a little bit
little
of sugar.
sugar.
A little
Yeah,
bit of
that's
sugar.
all.
That's very controversial with some, but goddamn it, watch The Godfather.
Yeah, that's right. Those guys hold up in that room there, and the
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
making the sauce on the little
Put a little
cook
sugar.
stove.
Yeah, Clemenza
that's great.
puts in a little sugar.
Yeah,
Not a
sure.
lot. Not a lot.
Yeah. I mean, what they do then? They just got. Then one guy walked back and just dipped a chunk of bread in there and ate it.
Yep.
Puccia.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the Italian puccia.
Yep. Yep. You are correct, sir.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
see?
always been a big
I used
thing,
to add
right?
sugar if I burnt it a little bit. If I
The sugar's just for
To
the
burgers?
acidity. The acidity of
somehow
the.
scorched
It
I
takes the
with sugar.
tomatoes kind of some of that.
Yeah. I mean, if you got really good tomatoes, but
Yeah. Well, Bev's good at making noodles and stuff, so she'll make.
she'll make them. She'll
Yeah.
make the noodles.
Yeah, and she's got the machine, and
that's
so she'll
awesome.
do. Like I said, we make tortellinis a lot of homemade tortellinis.
Tortellini's a Christmas tradition.
How are you
Yeah.
not a huge man?
I know, that's what I mean. I know.
Gnocchi?
Yeah, gnocchis and all that stuff. Yeah, so he grew up learning all that and seeing how all that's done. So yeah, and my wife's not a little old round Italian lady either. So I don't know how that happened either. So like her mom was a little old round Italian lady. So
Sometimes it
French-
skips a generation.
Maria, what's her name? Maria Francesca Tessineri.
No. Yeah.
That's an Italian
Yeah, that's all the Italian.
And they married into the Piccinini's of Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, the
See?
Piccinini's.
There's some
See?
Piccinini's here in Columbus.
Are there?
Yeah.
See, so
Yeah.
you hear those Italian names, it doesn't take long to make a connection.
And your background is
Just, to be honest, I've never known. I did that the DNA test one time.
23andMe?
Yeah, 23andMe, and I'm not sure. My mom came from one direction, my dad came from another, and they kind of met in the middle. And I don't really have any defined roots
European
like that.
mutt.
Yeah, I am, and I've always been kind of envious of that people can say, like my wife, my grandparents came over, on the boat and their names are at Ellis Island in the book and stuff like that. And the Irish, they have their legacy coming over and stuff. We complain so much about immigrants nowadays and stuff, but those are the days when immigrants really were looking for something,
I think that's why we're big Cardinals fans, St. Louis fans. Because that's where you grew up. So
Yeah.
that was your culture in a way.
immigrants built this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what we have
So-
today built on
So
their
I
sweat, toil.
I don't have any of those kinds of roots that I can really go to. So anyway,
My grandmother was adopted, right?
that's right. Yeah. So my mom was adopted in Sullivan, Indiana.
So you go 23andMe didn't clear any of that up?
Didn't clear any of that up. No, I know. Yeah.
like a 25%.
Yeah. Is it like a 24andMe?
No, yeah. No.
One more?
No, it showed that whole 23andMe thing was kind of interesting. It showed both of my parents. I think we all started from North Africa, right? Kind of the beginning, and it showed my dad going east and going east and going east and coming up through northern Russia and back down through the Newfoundland and Finland down that way. My mom kind of went up, and her genes went around through the Caribbean coast and came up through France. So my dad kind of did a big eastern loop. My mom her genes did the western loop. So I don't know what they picked up in the meantime, but that's all my map showed. And I think they say that we all have like 3% Cro-Magnon DNA.
Magnolian. Yeah, Mongoloid.
Mongoloid, yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
Mongoloid.
Mongoloid, yeah.
Close.
We all have a.
I am Mongoloid as well.
Oh, see,
Trace chip to the
some have
closest
more
friend.
percent. Some have more percent than others, right?
Yeah, I'd like to do a test on this group.
See another subject.
You can thank that to thank Kubla Khan for that.
Yeah.
He was
pretty prolific, huh?
Yeah, he went
covered
around
a
and
lot of
spread that
ground.
seed.
Yep, yeah. Greg was talking about how I was kind of nervous a little bit earlier. I said, if we were, like I said, garage band drummer, I can talk about Greg all day. I can talk rock and roll all day. We can cover whatever you want to cover. You know, I remember we did the show. with the All-Star Rock and Roll Band on Record Store Day. What'd you call that?
Archie.
That was with Archie.
That was with our other
That's a
radio
great
station.
Your
I
other
can't think of a better
podcast?
person to do that show with.
Yeah.
than
Oh, was
Archie.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It
So
was
your dad's
Archie.
got
wasn't
podcast experience.
Yeah.
So what was you
right.
nervous about coming on this
I
one
don't
for?
know. I don't know.
He's
I think
meeting
he
Dino
just had the time to
Tripodis.
think about it and got into his.
I was just shouting on that podcast. I was in the audience just shouting stuff about Alice Cooper's Dead Babies tour and stuff. You know.
Oh my God!
You have a very colorful background. I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, you know, you think about somebody's dad. You know, I'm somebody's dad, right? You know, and so you're kind of cool.
I don't let it go to your
There we
head.
go. I know. Yeah,
Kind of cool. You got a cool hip background. You got some history. You got some stories behind it, and it kind of helps me appreciate him a little bit
There
more.
you go. Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
round glasses, though. You need round
I
glasses.
know.
Oh, round glasses.
Yes, round.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
I tried that look. You know, I did the thing with the headband. I remember one year Canned Heat. Remember Canned Heat?
Yeah.
They came through St. Louis playing at a couple of clubs, and I thought it'd be cool. I put this little white headband on, and my hair was kind of long, and went to the concert and watched, you know, On the Road Again. You remember those guys? That was, yeah. Him and Bob Dylan, those two guys. Yeah.
So I mean, so
The guy could play harp though, for sure.
do you guys do any jamming at the house? With pick up the instruments?
Not lately. We have in the past, but yeah, I really don't have any drums set up. He has a drum kit at his house, so every once in a while we'll make some noise when we're over at their place.
Yeah.
Just kind of some fun goofing around, really.
Yeah.
Nothing. We're not going on tour quite yet.
Look, I asked so many questions because someone who was not close to his father and did not have this type of relationship with his father, I find it incredibly wonderful.
Thank you.
And I'm
Yeah.
just a little bit and a little envious. I think
very
it's
lucky. You
great,
guys are
man.
very lucky
You know,
to have
I
him.
think it's
I
great.
didn't have a relationship with my dad either, and so I had no blueprint. I just, you know, they always say there's a fine line of do you be a friend or do you be a parent, you know, kind of a thing. And sometimes I probably was too much on one side or the other. That's why my wife's been a good partner on that. She's probably more of the
disciplinary.
disciplinary.
She
Yeah,
balances out
yeah,
everything.
she does balance it out, you know. So yeah.
That's the
Anyway, so this,
Italian. Yeah.
it is right.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
You get the discipline. Well, I
Yeah.
think it's awesome, and I
Cool.
really
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
you,
Yeah, enjoyed it.
coming to hang out with us tonight. Our first one back in a while, and I can't think of a more enjoyable
Cool.
way to kick it off.
Thank
John.
you. Yeah,
So
and the
thank
drinks
you, John.
too. Thank you.
John Hansberry, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for having Greg.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. The guest bottle,
Yes.
the Colonel E.H. Taylor. This is the small batch, bottled and bond bottle. It's been very, very good. And thank you guys for not completely killing it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
course.
I
Of
said sample it and then drink whatever the hell you want of anything else.
Then he put the revolver down on the table.
Right.
Gosh, I hope that
saw
doesn't
that.
happen again.
Greg needs to do some housekeeping as we haven't
Yes,
done
we
it
do.
yet.
We haven't done any housekeeping from the beginning or the middle or the end, so let's
That's
do
right.
that. Yeah.
Whiskey Business is the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. Evergreen Podcast Network, evergreenpodcast.com is our parent company. Thank you, Evergreen Podcasts. Whiskey Business is on your favorite streaming apps, all of your Spotify's, your iTunes,
All the places.
all the places.
Wherever you get your favorite
Tubi.
podcast. That's everybody. That seems to be the
Pluto.
lazy
Yeah.
out. Wherever you get your favorite podcast, you can get Whiskey Business, which is true.
Facebook, Instagram, whiskeybusinesspod.com, YouTube, where you'll see video of this.
You gotta hook up. You're what do you call it?
I don't know.
When an administrator on the Whiskey Business Instagram.
Yeah.
You gotta hook us up with Threads. Apparently,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
on Threads.
you're on Threads.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Is it?
I don't know. I didn't really like Twitter either, so
Me
I
either.
don't care.
All right. Never
All right,
mind.
I'll look into it.
Never mind.
Pop quiz. How do you listen to your podcast? Do you listen on YouTube or do you listen to your favorite podcast app?
Answer that question in the comments.
In the comments below. That's it. Subscribe. Tell all your friends to listen to it.
All right.
We'll get a big old bump today with John Hansberry. That's for sure.
Do we need to talk about? Have we talked about the big thing with Echo? We talked about that.
No, I don't think we have.
Maybe we'll save it for another time.
we'll save it for another time.
It's a tease, everybody.
That's a big tease, a long-term tease, if you will, with Echo Spirits. So we're excited about that. So we'll dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
In a future episode when we actually put it in play and leave it at that.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Can't wait.
On behalf of John Whitney, Chip Cosell, the son I never wanted, Greg Hansberry, my name is Dino Tripodis, and until the next bottle, see ya.
Mm-hmm.